friend is friendly, a friend is fun, a friend is good to be with. The elderly at Digital History, or the seniors, they don't have to create a story. They already have a story within them. And their story is about, they lived it, and they have so much to tell. You know, visual communications has been here a long time now. And they've gone through ups and downs and struggles and many platforms. And I would say that, God willing, God will continue to support them through the community. And I'm out there to ask that you, the community, please donate to visual communications so they can continue their wonderful work. Just give money. Don't hesitate. If you have money, give. That's it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to LA Asian Pacific Film Festival's special panel for NBC's Young Rock. My name is Laura Sirikul. I'm the writer and managing editor for The Nerds of Color. I'm here today to chat with some special guests from the series. As one of the only series to star predominantly Pacific Islanders, Young Rock highlights the life and times of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his loving and supporting family. Now in its second season and the finale underway, we're watching how a legend is made, with Dwayne now finding his place in the ring. But before I get any further, I'd like to show a special clip showcasing Young Rock.
There's Vincent Pat. Man, I haven't seen those guys in forever.
Two men with great hair. One's is better, but I won't say who.
This is one of the most exciting events in wrestling.
Hey, look. Look, that is your cousin Rodney, Yokozuna.
Japanese sumo wrestler. The kid's from San Fran. He loves chicken nuggets. He makes one hell of a WWF wrestler.
Wait, he's about to do the family move. Watch.
Samoan drop. All these pinches my rib skin makes me feel fat.
I miss you, my Peter.
For every Samoan drop is a violent love letter to you, High Chief.
Welcome back. Now I'd like to introduce today's panelists. Today's panelists include co-creator, executive producer Jeff Chiang. We have young adult Dwayne Johnson himself, Uli Latukefu. We have playing his mother, The Rock's Rock, Ada Johnson, Stacey Leilua. We have playing wrestling matriarch Lia Maivia, Ana Tuisila. I'm so excited to celebrate AAPI a month with all of you at the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. You know, with Young Rock, it celebrates Pacific Islanders, you know, a group that we rarely see in film and television. You know, for all of you, how does it feel to be part of a series that really highlights highlight Samoan and Pacific Islander heritage and culture on mainstream television? So I'll have Uli go first and then go around.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly special for all of us who are on set. You know, we talk about it often. It's as you mentioned, it's a rare thing to see Pacific Islanders, let alone a large number of Pacific Islanders in leading roles on network television, and so or television at all, really. So it's a really big deal. It's really something special for us, but also something special for audiences.
Stacey?
Yeah, just what Uli said, it's something that I'm incredibly proud of. And I especially love the fact that it's so, and this is credit to, you know, our EPs and the writers, is that it's so just beautifully written and nuanced in terms of the characters. So they're, you know, multi-dimensional, you know, they go through their character journeys. We've got depictions of, just including things like food or the clothing or the music, the soundtrack, all those kind of little things just help to add to give a really full picture, which again just makes it really special, and it's groundbreaking. So it's awesome to be a part of.
Definitely. And Ana?
Yeah, well, I've got nothing more to add to what Uli and Stacey have said, but I think foremost is to be involved with Dwayne Johnson, the Samoan African-American icon of entertainment and entrepreneurship, just to be involved and have to be linked to his name, and then to be involved with such professional and well-known actors in their own field, in their own places of origin, like New Zealand and Australia, other Pacific people. So, the pride and the humility, and just to be recognized as a Pacific, Polynesian, Samoan, Tongan production is just beyond words, and that's just it's just beyond words. And even to this day, second season, to be involved in and to look at myself and my colleagues, my peers, is just amazing. And to hear feedback, really encouraging and positive feedback, just impresses us more to be involved in this great production.
Of course, that was beautiful. And Jeff, this is the first to really highlight Pacific Islander heritage on mainstream television. How does it feel to be part of this and to actually be a co-creator of this series as well?
For Nanachka Khan and I, who created the show, it is something that is especially meaningful to us because coming from groups that have been underrepresented, I think that feeling the way that obviously the public, but also within our cast, I remember talking to Uli, for example, and he was just telling me about his daughter seeing him on the show and not seeing someone that represented their culture, on television. And now it's not just on television, it's on, it's global, and it's tied to Dwayne Johnson, who is such I think like Anna was saying, such a meaningful person, because he cares about representation and he really lifts people up, and I think, as Stacey was saying, though, it is this collaboration that we're really lucky to have, with these great performers and their background and where they come from, and they view it, they are very generous with we learn from them, it sounds cheesy, but we take, we are making something together, and it's really meaningful to be able to do that and share that, and I'm just grateful.
And what's beautiful is that, not only is the cast a Pacific Islander cast predominantly and people of color, it's also great to have Black, Indigenous, people of color writers in the writer's room. How has this diversity kept the authenticity on screen, especially for Pacific Islander representation?
I think really the key, I think is if you have people from different backgrounds that have experienced and lived in these just lived it culturally, right? Then I think it's naturally comes through. And I think having worked on other shows, I worked on Fresh Off the Boat, which was about a Chinese American family, Taiwanese American family, but in the same thing where you just find that there are certain aspects about your personal experience, that are specific, but those specifics, when you put them in, are very broadly relatable, so beyond it goes beyond just the personal side. It's actually quite fulfilling when other people relate to it, so I think that's really we try to hone in on that. Dwayne's story is so specific and personal. He's sharing so much with us, and his family has. So it's just honoring that and bringing that out there. And those details we focus on, care about, and that seems to be, working as a way to kind of tell these stories,
No, and definitely. And, it is a story surrounding the most famous Pacific Islander in the world, The Rock, and for the cast, we get to see a side of him that and his life that we rarely learn about. And you're all playing a big part of his history. You know, either you're playing him or you're playing the people important to him. How does your approach to the character change because you're portraying a real person versus a fictional character? And this is for the cast. I'll have Stacey go first.
Yeah, I'm not, I think in terms of the approach for playing a character, the only difference really, I mean, you're still doing all this work if you're playing a fictional character, but I think the underlying thing for me that goes from beginning to end is the fact that she's alive and she's watching, and you know, she's a Samoan woman. All those things are constantly there as the sort of bed for making this character, and the body of the show it's kind of, you know, it's based on. So there's a few kind of embellishments or whatever here and there. And it's within the context of being a comedy. So it's kind of like a mix of all those things. But I think the main thing for me is just really wanting to obviously respect and honor this incredible woman and the journey that she's gone through, highs and lows, you know. So I think that would be the main difference, is really a lot of respect for what you're doing and what you're creating, because you know that that person is alive and they're watching, and Dwayne as well. So yeah, there's sort of, you know, you do have a little bit of kind of freedom, but it's not, that would be the difference, I think, compared to if you're creating a character from scratch who's kind of a made up thing. You can kind of do what, you know, if it fits within a framework, you can sort of do whatever you want and whatever. But it was always just going back to those videos and watching her and watching how she interacts with Dwayne and what that kind of relationship is, and really just going, well, this is me doing this, and honoring that, you know.
Well, you do a beautiful job. Like,
thank you.
So, but Ana, how about you playing the matriarch of the family?
You know, well, the character is very much, it's all about experience, you know, and the most fulfilling part of playing Lia is that she's a Samoan woman, and there's so much culture in that woman, in terms of being very outspoken, and, you know, being the matriarch, as you say, so she can just say and do whatever she likes, because that's what it's about. In the culture, and I think universally, you know, what grandma says goes. So a lot of it is about experience, and so much of it is in the writing and collaboration, and just talking about it with Jeff and Nanashka and people who want to keep this woman alive, and who she is and what she was in terms of Dwayne Johnson's life. But I think a lot of it is around working together with the writers and the producers and the directors, and experience. But most importantly, is that she's a Samoan cultural woman. So it wasn't a difficult part for me to play, but it wasn't just about Ana trying to portray this person. It was about Ana ensuring that she, as Stacey said, played this part with respect, because she, as you say, the matriarch of the family, so there's family watching, and so it's about being respectful, but it's also ensuring that I'm not playing who I think she is, but playing someone who authentically, Lia Maivia. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect. That was a beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I'm similar to what Stacey said. Like I don't know if the approach changes too much. I guess with playing the most famous, most followed human being on social media and otherwise comes with its own challenges. And I think probably the fact, actually, Viola Davis mentioned it in a recent interview about her portrayal of Michelle Obama, and the difficulty often is because there's so much in the public eye that the audience is really familiar with how they move, how they talk, their background, everything about that person. The audience is very familiar with. So playing him, you know, it's kind of like you've got to match that. That being said, you know, we've got our own show. This is our own complete beast within itself. So there's a little bit of freedom, like Stacey mentioned. But I think for me personally, there is that challenge of, the eyebrow, which I had to train. I was doing the left eyebrow, and then I looked, and you know, Dwayne actually raises the right eyebrow, so that's another thing. But yeah, that's probably one of the challenges.
I was gonna kudos for you, because like that was one of the best moves that I saw that you made, and I was like, you did a great job with that. But you know,
Cheers.
I do love the story, but Jeff, like what you said, you know, you created a show that is surrounding The Rock, who happens to be Black and Samoan, and the story is relatable, not because of his background, because it's a loving characters and a loving story. It's relatable that you have these family members who love each other, and they have situations that happen, but it all comes together as a family. But you know, we cannot deny that the culture plays a big part in Dwayne's life. How was it to really be able to not only showcase a well-rounded, loving character who has, you know, many dimensions and many layers, but also to showcase your culture and background to the world? You know, not only is how does it feel to be able to showcase not only a great character, but also, you know, your background and your culture to the character, to bring that to the character. So Uli, Anna, go first, or Jeff?
Oh yeah, again, on an international level, you know, I've played parts in New Zealand, Auckland being the highest city with the highest population of Polynesian. So it was really easy within my little regional area, but internationally, to be playing a Samoan woman, and even the way she dresses. I mean, I've been told by other women in my community, you know, I love your clothes, and I'm going to start wearing the same type of clothes with the necklace. And it's great that you're bringing that in, and that you're not walking around with slacks, and, you know, that you're still bringing in the more. Now, for that, to bring that back and to be able to show that you are where you are and who you are, where you come from, in an international arena is just beyond words. And so I guess, you know, feedback from people within the community to say, proud, they don't know who I am, and just to get that feedback and even the little phrase, I'm so happy about that, Jeff, that phrase that I've used about, quite a rude one, that now it's been used, and now they're calling other people, you know, dogs' private parts. But you know, so we've set a trend, and of course that's showcasing Samoa and culture and being respectful to elders again, and so there's a whole lot of things that this show has brought back, and also highlighted Polynesian people, and that, you know, we don't have to be in a little box in our little areas, that, you know, show your talent and spread it around the world and take the opportunities. Yep.
I like just what Uli was talking about before, the representation on screen, and, you know, like myself, I have a daughter as well, and being able to watch us on TV and point out and go, he's Tongan, he's Samoan, he's you know, and she's like, wow, you know, like I am too. And again, social media brings all these things out. So you get comments from people just going, did you see the, you know, I heard 5 stars on the soundtrack. Oh my gosh, they're talking about Kekepua'a. Oh my goodness, you know, so-and-so did it. And all those little things, or even just highlighting the beautiful relationship between a mother and son, or the bossy kind of matriarch who wears the boots. Like, these are all things that within a cultural context, a lot of people can relate to, because like, oh yeah, that's my grandma. I know people like that, or whatever it is. And so that's a really beautiful thing. And again, I come back to that word of groundbreaking, because I can't really think of any other show that's done this like this, you know, before. And So hearing that kind of feedback from audiences around the world is just really special, and I think it's huge in terms of representation on screen, and we're feeling that every week when people comment on specific little things that, you know, maybe people might not pick up, or it's a learning experience. You know, I think one of the when she sends the care package and it goes astray, and then they pick it up and someone mentioned like meat donut, and like so many people are like, what is a meat donut? And so then you go, oh, this is an opportunity to, you know, well, what it's actually, you know. So it's just a really cool, fun way to share the culture with the world, which is awesome.
Yeah. I would say, you know, again, very similar to everybody else. One thing that happened on set, it actually happens on set quite a bit, is we get extras who are from Pacific Island heritage. And it's a real proud moment for me, and I know the girls too, is when they light up and they go, we're just so, it's great to see you guys doing, you know, out there. It's actually quite emotional. It's early morning. I don't know why we chose to do the interview this early in the morning. It's too early for this type of emotion, but it's really, it really means a lot to us. And, you know, we do have children who are watching and just go, you know, maybe I think that might be something for me. I know that's how I got started in the journey, is someone, you know, is just having that window of possibility that this might be something I could give a crack. And then, you know, all these years later, we're on US network TV, and you know, gratitude is just overflowing for all of us. So, yeah.
Definitely. And, you know, with this series, Young Rock, you know, and Jeff, you've also brought in Fresh Off the Boat, which is one of the first Asian American ones as well. And, you know, this is Young Rock, one of the first Pacific Islander stories. You know, what was the feedback for you? Because you brought on different stories of like that we rarely get to see, but bringing in this story, how has the feedback been for you from the network side as well?
Oh, I mean, I think people are really happy, you know, like I think what's interesting is that like Dwayne's story is so relatable, you know, he's obviously like larger than life, but also his story is so grounded and relatable, I think, to a large number of people. So I think getting to tell that story, I just think people are excited, you know, I think like NBC is really excited and supportive of the show, you know, but the response, because like, you know, we're kind of tinkering away in this lab trying to make this show, right? And we're focusing on it, and then it goes out into the world and you don't really know, you know, like you just do the best you can. So it's really meaningful when you hear people just respond positively to it. Or like, oh, this is something that like, you know, I can watch with my family, or this is something that like, you know, me and my grandmother can talk about, or this or that. Like, it's just things that you don't really think about in a way, because you're just kind of making it, you know, so it's really rewarding on the other side of it to see that, because like so much of like what we love to do is make the thing, you know, but it's a real pleasure to see the other side of it too, which is that hopefully it, you know, it means something to people, hopefully as just entertainment or like representation or like all those things, right? It can be a lot of things to a lot of people, and it's just nice to have it be relatable and watched, and I don't mean, it's all we can ask for, you know, it's a real blessing.
Yeah, no, and the great thing about the series is that each episode, there's a life lesson. You know, each episode, there's something you learn about yourself and learn about, obviously, The Rock, but you also learn something about yourself from his lesson. You know, the series, each episode, you learn like something sweet or about family, what matters the most. And one that stuck with me was that they're just things. That was one episode that it was just like something broke, and they're just things, and it really stuck with me. Was there any particular episode for all of you, or a phrase or a life lesson from the series that really stuck with you?
As you can see, a lot of it. But to our defense, we shoot a lot.
We're thinking about so many things right now. Yeah.
One moment for me that stands out is from season 1 was where Dwayne is about to leave to Calgary, and Ata and Dwayne have a moment where Ata gives Dwayne his her ukulele. And it's a really kind of, it's a really beautiful moment where she just reminds him that, look, no matter where you go, whatever you do, we're here. And for me, that always stood out. Again, what's going on? I don't know. It's early. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that for me personally was a really beautiful, because it's such a, you know, I hate using this word because we use it quite often, but it's relatable. It's really kind of like, you know, that's something that you would tell your kids. That's something that we've probably heard in pursuit of whatever we're doing, is like, go with full confidence and know that you have our support. So.
Oh, definitely.
That's my answer too. Thanks, Uli.
Well, sorry.
Anna?
Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, for me, it's boom, boom, bang, bang. For me, it's only 3 words. It's in your blood. You know, if you remember those things, then, you know, it's about knowing yourself, who you are and where you come from. And it's in your blood. And if you recognize where you come from and your own talents and your skills and the support line of people behind you, you know, that you can never go wrong in this world if you recognize and know your identity. And I just love that when I say it's in your blood. So I think it's about being confident, knowing who you are, where you come from, and that's what culture's about. And it's, you know, they said, what's that saying? You know, brought up, was it village? The village people, you know, a whole village. It takes a whole village to bring you up, and that's what I'd like to pass that on to. And a message from this show is that whatever you have and whatever you grow up with, and who you grow up around, your environment, you can't go wrong. So it's in your blood. For me, that's what it is. Yeah.
Definitely, that was beautiful. And then Jeff, is there anything that really stuck with you?
Yeah, there was something we put in the show that Dwayne had told us, which was, so I think it was like when he was debating whether, because like he had played football and it wasn't totally working. He went to Canada, right? And we see that, and it doesn't go the way that he expects, right? And the idea of wanting to wrestle, but like not being able to say it out loud, you know, like it's something that had been inside of him that he knew that he wanted, yet at the same time, like he tells his girlfriend, and it's the first person he's ever told, and he doesn't speak about it again for months. You know, it's like, I felt like that was him telling us that was a very like relatable, and like, because I think we all have those things that are like inside of us, and we feel that like, oh, well, this is what I believe I can do, or I believe what, you know, this is who I am, or this is what, I don't know. There's just a lot of that stuff. And the hardest part is getting from it being in here to being out there, you know? And so like, I thought that was like that meant a lot to me when I heard him say that. So, yeah.
So true.
Well, I know that there's going to be many more beautiful moments in upcoming season finale. So with the season finale coming up, what can viewers expect from the series and from your characters and everything that's coming up?
Well, we see Dwayne go into the first challenges of wrestling. He goes down to Memphis and then, you know, graduates in a sense. But it doesn't work out. I think probably one of the coolest things about this part of Dwayne's journey is that you realize he didn't become The Rock overnight. You know, it was a long journey. So we get a bit of insight into that.
And then Atta's journey?
I think what I like about where we get to by the end of this season, and we all know in real life, you know, that it actually keeps going past this, but by the end of, I remember filming these last scenes with Uli and really feeling that sense of, oh God, now I'm going to cry.
Yes.
It almost felt like a full circle moment. We know that Atta's grown up through the wrestling world and with her parents, and through this, we got to see her as a teenage girl. And then we know the journey throughout. And then these last scenes of filming with Uli, without giving too much away, like she's there watching her son, you know, in this arena and kind of realizing his dream in that same world that she knows inside out. So that alone was such a beautiful feeling as a mum to sort of see that progression of your child, and it's come full circle. And she mentions it in the episode with Rocky, saying like, this has always been my dream for him. So seeing that realized, it's like she's got her own kind of like agenda and dream for herself, but it's her son being a huge success as well. For any parent, that's just like amazing. So yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but there's a really beautiful moment in there that that she shares, and that was it for me.
For Lia, we've seen how she didn't agree with Ata being involved with the wrestler, particularly Rocky. And as the episodes progress, she becomes quite outspoken, and she's quite really forthright with Rocky. And I've never seen that in the first scene. She's almost like battling against him. So there's a lot of conflicts between Lia and Rocky that we won't see, but she's very supportive of, again, whatever Dewey does, Lia's very supportive. But as we lead up to the final episode, she becomes quite more aggressive and less fearless with her relationship between her daughter and her husband, so that her grandson can progress. So I like it how she stands up to him, and yeah, and she's more out there and a bit more aggressive towards her idea of supporting Dewey. So there's more of Lia, and I just love her. Don't you just love her? I think she's just wonderful.
More aggressive. Oh my God. And then Jeff, what can we expect? As you know what's gonna happen. So what can we expect from the storyline?
Yeah, I mean, we've been tracking also in the 2032 future timeline with Dwayne Johnson and Randall Park as Dwayne's been going on this journey for the election, and we get to election day. So that's something that I think will be interesting. And yeah, I think like it's like everything, like, they're both a conclusion, but also jumping off point, right? Like it's like things get easy. Like you have these goals, you may achieve these goals, but somehow things get harder, or things don't go the way you expect, and I know it's funny, but it is like Dwayne's life, like I think Uli was saying before, but it is some of those things, like you don't know how hard it is to get to where he got to, and how much perseverance and how much time and patience, and yeah, so it's yeah, you're gonna see some people fight to get where they want to be, so
yeah.
We need to get that Dr. Ego out. Like, that guy needs to go. But I am so happy. Thank you so much for joining us for today's panel. I love talking to you guys. I can't wait for everyone to see the season finale. Thank you for the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival for having us on. And please catch the season finale of Young Rock on May 24th on NBC. You won't want to miss it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.